Welcome to WomeNomics. I am Linda Pringle Evans, and I am thrilled that you have decided to join us on today. And let me just say this, you are in for a treat today. You know, there are many platforms out there for women, especially women entrepreneurs, that's helping to bring more exposure to women in business and to help you to attract more opportunities. And today I have a guest expert, and I know her personally as well. And as a matter of fact, she is my graphic designer, and she is one who truly is gifted. And I don't say that about everyone. I don't. There are plenty of experts out there, but there are specific ones who are gifted within their talent. And Amber Mabry of A Paynes Designs, let me tell you, this young lady, I think the world of her and her work. She is stellar at what she does. So our show today is going to be the introduction to many about the new community that Amber is launching to help women entrepreneurs. But before I share Amber, if you aren't aware of what WomeNomics is about, the WomeNomics movement is truly about empowering women entrepreneurs with economic growth and sustainability. We are on a mission to help more women coaches, consultants, thought leaders, service providers, and speakers and authors to generate $250,000 annually in their businesses. So it is important to me personally that women are financially established, that you, as you age in life and you reach that point where you're ready to retire, you can retire with financial freedom. And you're able also to grow your business and do far more than you ever imagined. That's what the WomeNomics movement is about. And you'll learn more about it within the upcoming episodes. But today is about Miss Amber Mabry. So let me just share some information with you about Amber. And before I start, I just want to say to everyone, I recently had eye surgery. So you may see me stumbling a little because my vision isn't quite clear yet. But you know what? We don't stop. We keep moving. As women, but we must take care of ourselves. Don't get me wrong. And that's what I have been doing, is taking care of myself since the surgery. But today I wanted to have this specific show because the time is now for this. So let me share Amber with you. Amber Mabry is a dynamic wife. That's true. Visionary, two-time co-author and mompreneur who enjoys being creative, expanding her entrepreneurial lifestyle, meeting people, and connecting with big thinkers. Amber is a graduate of Columbus College of Art and Design and enjoys serving nonprofit organizations, entrepreneurs, and business professionals with design solutions through her graphic design business, A Paynes Designs. Amber is an out-of-the-box leader who enjoys immersing herself into projects of kindness and service. In recent years, she's become known as a vision catalyst and community builder. I know this personally, and she does it well, by the way. In 2017, she raised $10,000 for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, a nonprofit dedicated to creating a world without blood cancer. Wouldn't that be great? In the Man and Woman of the Year 10-week fundraising campaign. In 2020, she created a relationship platform called Marriage, the Real Talk, which quickly grew to over 1,000 plus members to support growth in relationships of all statuses. Now, within the next month, she plans to launch a female-focused networking platform to help women thrive in all aspects of their life, called Vision Defined Women. I'm so excited about this. Now, many people who know her agree Amber truly lives out her favorite motto, live out loud. Vision Defined Women is a community that helps women prioritize, organize, and execute their goals, passion, projects, and God-given assignments. Now, within her community, they will network, provide encouragement, motivation, prayer, business and marketing support, accountability, and much more. Now, the community objectives are simple. She wants to remind women to prioritize themselves. Now, how important is that? How often do we always look at how we can prioritize for others, but we neglect ourselves? But let me tell you, ladies, it's so crucial, and I do mean crucial, for you to prioritize taking care of you. Don't feel guilty, because sometimes when we take that time for ourselves, we're thinking about, oh, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. And guilt arises. It just comes up and you're thinking, oh, let me get up. I've spent enough time. But take it from someone who is now 71 years of age. You must not think about it, but you must take care of yourself, okay? Prioritize yourself. Help women get organized and intentional about their personal goals and dreams. Now, how many of you often think about what you want to do, but do you set an intention about how you're going to get it done? Because if you don't become intentional about what you want, it won't happen. I can tell you that it won't happen. So I love that point. And the third is to provide a safe place for dialogue, exploration, networking, and goal execution. You know, as women, especially women entrepreneurs, we find ourselves working alone a lot, being isolated, trying to figure everything out ourselves. And you know what? You're burning both ends of the candle and you're getting tired, you're feeling burned out, you are stressed. So you need to have a community where you can come together and get the support you need. Brainstorm, because you can't figure everything out by yourself. It's impossible. Hear me, it is impossible. So Amber, welcome, welcome, welcome to WomeNomics.
Thank you so much. I'm super excited to be here. Thank you for the time. Thank you. And thank you for the introduction.
Oh, darling, it's my pleasure, my pleasure. So we're going to just hop right into it. Okay, tell us, Amber, a bit about your recent Thrive on Purpose it was an intensive, right? Intensive partnership you created.
Yes, I'll be happy to share. And so for many who may not know me, I do different things, but this has been something that God has put on my heart to do. Many years ago, I wanted to do something for women. And if you're like me, generally, God will nudge you to do something, then you kind of slide away and then something else will happen and you keep going back and forth. Well, long story short, Thrive on Purpose and became a partnership group at the end of 2022. It was laid on my heart that many of us women specifically have a lot of things that, just like this shelf over here is holding something up, just dormant things sitting on a shelf, but that we needed to be intentional. We needed to be reminded. We needed to refocus and kind of recalibrate so that we can thrive. And so fast forward, it went from a thought in my mind, a prayer in my spirit, to a post on social media. And I just was like, hey, ladies, who out here is feeling like they know there's something they're supposed to birth that has maybe been dormant or stored up, or maybe not. You just know there's something you're supposed to do, whether it be write that book, start the business, collaborate, research, finish that manuscript, whatever it might be, start the church, start the nonprofit. And we're going to come together intentionally at the end of the year into the first quarter of the first year to be able to bring practical tools, resources, collaboration, and that just sisterhood energy that only women can bring. And so that fast forward, many people from that post say, hey, I'm interested. We put it out and we actually wanted it to be small and intimate. And it's exactly what turned out to be that. And so we had 7 women. 7 is a wonderful number, perfect number. We had 7 dynamic women who started and completed. And one of the things I know for me in my heart lately is not always just starting a thing, but can I complete it? And so in that, the Thrive on Purpose group really did help the women refine some of their goals, define some of the things that they needed to do, but in that synergy of having women collaborate and share, it also opened up new opportunities and new ideas that many of us didn't even think to come up with. And so it concluded at the first week of January. And even since then, we've been connecting and preparing for the next, which we'll talk a little bit here in a moment. But it was just an amazing experience. And the goal, again, was to refine and really show up for ourselves. I'll say that before I cease. Showing up for ourselves as women, like you were just saying, Linda, is a very hard thing because we naturally give so much more and we don't give much to ourselves. And so really, I was hoping that the people who would fall in love with the mission and actually commit themselves would be ones that just want to spend time focusing on themselves and what God put in them. And it turned out to be that and so much more. So that's a bit about it.
Okay, so I think this will help our audience. What were some of the takeaways you and your participants learned from the partnership?
Wow. Well, first off, there is so much power that comes in unity, right?
Yes.
And being in a place where people have like minds, I mean, that's number one. And so I would even throw that nugget out to someone who's saying, hey, I know I need support. Go find it. Go reach out for it. I don't care if you failed 50 times over, because that's another hang up for us women. Oh, I've been trying to lose this pound for so long. Oh, I tried 16 different jobs and I still haven't found it. Oh, I've been with so many men and I still, when we have hang ups, that memory, it immobilizes us. It makes us afraid to try, but it is important to keep moving. So first thing would be the power of unity and being in a community of women who care. We had celebration time. So each week we would pause and make sure that we, reached out and shared something good that happened or something that we were intending to do that we completed, because that's the other thing. We don't celebrate each other. We don't celebrate ourselves. And so celebrations was a big deal. Seeing our personal progress was a great win for all of us, I think, as a whole. At the beginning, there was an assessment, and at the end, there was an assessment. And just about everyone completed one or more, well, actually 3 or more, honestly, things that we had aimed to do. So the big win is actually seeing our own momentum and also being able to cheerlead other women on. I would say that's another big win, because in our society where a lot of people don't have self-confidence, you can't really enter spaces where you can not only shine on you, but you got enough to shine on somebody else too. Like being able to celebrate and support other women, that was a big win. Another big win is being able to take something tangible, and I always tell them it's like a ripple effect. And so one of our awesome ladies are on the line. Shout out to Brenda. She had an awesome goal of starting her YouTube channel. Okay. She's never been on YouTube. God put something on her heart and she wants to start. At the very beginning, she wasn't even sure she was going to join the group. But now, having joined that group, she raves. She's one of our biggest supporters. And she has went leaps and bounds just from being in this 4-week intensive, to the point where she now has a YouTube channel. She has a name. She has started to look into some podcasting, get intro, outro, like just the momentum. I guess I'll say the biggest takeaway is believing you can, committing that you will, and then riding the wave of momentum that does not stop. Because when we are intentional and on purpose, it will keep going. And when it phases out, just like this week, when my wave phased out, somebody from the group chimed something in, my wave went back up, and I'm excited again, and I'm ready to keep moving. And so that is the energy, that's the drive, and that's the heart of what we're creating.
You know, Amber, when you mentioned Brenda and what she has accomplished in such a short period of time, when you think about it, right?
Very short.
Very short. And I'm almost certain it had a lot to do with having that accountability, because when we are doing things on our own, alone, excuses occurs.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, things pop up and we go, first thing we'll say, oh, I'll get to it later. I'll make a point of addressing this tomorrow. Sometimes that tomorrow never comes. But having that accountability within the group and knowing that she could reach out and get the help that she needs to get it done, and not feeling alone and isolated. So I think that's a big, big proponent for your community with the women, because there are so many, and I do mean many, organizations out there, but finding the right one, that's what I want the women to understand. Finding the one that is the right fit for you, because there are many.
Yes.
And I love what you have put in place. And one other thing is this. I love the fact that you chose 7, the number 7, to participate. You kept it small and intimate. When it's large, there is absolutely no way you feel a part of something that's gigantic. You don't get the support. You don't feel like you can reach out. And sometimes you don't know who to reach out to. So I love this. I love this platform that you are building. Now, here's something I think I would love to hear from you. Why do you think one-on-one coaching or some type of support system is so important for women?
Yeah, I think just what you said. One, we're women. We are managing so much. I'll put myself out there. I'm 36, been married 10 years. I have a 5-year-old now and a 2-year-old who thinks she's 5, who thinks she's 5 or 7. Okay. And so with the juggle of home life, and then the juggle of work responsibilities, the logistics of family by itself, your spiritual changes, your external family. So outside of your immediate family, your church, we carry and we do so many things. You have to have support. And I'm a believer now that if you're not getting the support, you really don't want to grow. And think of it this way: if you know that you are slipping in your eating, or whatever our weak spots are, as we mature, instead of running away from accountability, instead of running away from coaching, instead of running away from accountability, which is what our group was huge on, then you're not really going to grow, because we will make those excuses. Something else will come up, or we'll have a new thought, or, but what I love about community, at least the way we're creating it, is we're going to hold you to it. And we had a thing in our group. We actually had homework. So this was an intensive. What we're creating now will be a little bit different, but in an intensive, we can get in your face a little bit. I would let every lady know, at the start and throughout, you're going to have homework, but no one's mommying you here, right? You signed up to be committed, but we will talk about you. If we reach out and it's supposed to be time for you to show up and, report, and you don't have anything, that alone is a seed that stuck with a lot of us. And actually, they would even say, I didn't want to be talked about today, so here's what I did. Just that is worth community. Just that. And so in regards to the difference of whether it's one-on-one or a group, I think, like you said, Miss Linda, you have to find what works for you.
Yes.
What I can say is, in regards to what we're creating, I think the sweet spot of what we're creating is that one-on-one coaching is great, but what I have experienced, when you get one-on-one coaching, that coach has a limited amount of time for you. Okay. So if you go to coaching once a month, they give you your checklist, you have until another month or maybe bi-weekly to check in with that coach. For a lot of us women, because life is moving so fast, I'm going to need a little more hands-on, not micromanage, but I'm going to need a little bit more hands-on for me to really sometimes get from point A to point B, right? So that weekly touch point, those calls, those text messages, even today, before I got on here, my girls are like, yes, let's go. That's the fuel you need. That's the fuel to have momentum. If not, many of us have paid people to be coaches or therapists or whatever. And once that stops, the momentum stops. Now, it's not the fault of the coach, right? You do have to get your own confidence and endurance and all of that. But depending on where you're at and which season you're in, sometimes you need a little bit more. So I think, in short, depending on what your needs are and what your season is, as well as what your pocketbook says, right?
Absolutely.
That's budget, your budget, because you can go ahead and spend $500 to $1,000 on a coach, and they may mean well, and they may actually help you. But for a lot of women, at least the ones I'm coming across post-pandemic, especially, we got to do what's realistic so that we can have enough space to grow versus, trying to bite the bait of something that sounds good, and realistically, you're not eating because you're paying for this program. So I think just finding what works for you, and also thinking about, do I work well better one-on-one? Or like in our case, a lot of the women really, it was a natural fit to be able to be in that synergy of many women and many voices and many prayer points, So finding what works for you, and you can't lose, but definitely get support. Do not be on the island. This is not the season to be on an island solo. As people say, find your tribe, whatever that looks like, find them, whether that's virtual, in person, find them. Because that's going to connect you to helping you grow and get leverage in whatever aspect of life you're seeking.
Absolutely. One other thing I'd like to add is, know what is the outcome that you want. Because too many times, especially with women, we will become engaged in a coach or a program, and we don't take the time to fully get to define, what outcome do I want from this?
That's good.
And anytime you're spending your money, make sure you know what the outcome is going to be, and make it crystal clear with the person who is providing this service to you that they are committing to doing that for you. Because too often I hear people say, well, I got this coach and they didn't do this for me. I was in this program, it didn't do this for me. And I ask, well, what outcome were you seeking in the beginning? And they shared it. And I said, but did the coach or did the program say that would be the result from being a part of it? And did you ask questions? No. Well, that's not their fault. It's yours. You have to be clear about what you want.
Yeah.
So I would say always think about what is your outcome, not what somebody else is saying, because this is you and your life and your business. Now, Amber, I know we're getting short on time, but I got to ask you this. What advice would you give a woman who has a desire or goal, but just does not know where to start? And I've seen many of them. So what advice would you give her?
First of all, I think it would just, for me personally, be prayer. I'm learning that for me, that really becomes what brings all the thoughts and unknown and all that kind of
Your foundation.
The noise. It's so much noise externally, internally, what I should be doing, all of that. So for me, I would say prayer. If, you're a person of faith, and even if you're not, Lord, help me, just that would be one. Outside of that, like we just spoke about, finding support. Now, I'm not saying support even is limited on coaching, one-on-one or group. There's so many resources. From business on out, find a Facebook group, seek out something at your church that aligns to, if you want to be an entrepreneur, if your church has something, join the class. Right. If you see a free workshop coming up, and there's always free ones on SCORE or SBA.gov or wherever, or someone emails you something, don't be skeptical, just go. Just try it out. I'm a big believer, and this is probably why in my 36 years I've done so many things. I'm a big believer. Just try it. My mindset is, if I try it and I don't like it, I'll still learn from it.
That's right.
And that learning will help me to further narrow down what I do like. But sometimes our lack of discovery and exploration is actually what further binds us up and makes us immobile and scared and fearful, so on and so forth. So I would just say, try things, be open, use your resources. I was having a conversation with one of my family members the other day, and I was just encouraging her, think about who you already know that you can just tap into and say, hey, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. Do you know someone who can? I did that just this morning. Use your core crew, if we want to coin it that way, which might be your intimate family or your close business colleagues, like Miss Linda. If there's something certain going on, I can reach out to Miss Linda and say, hey, let's have a quick chat, and vice versa. Business relationships, regular relationships, that's the new currency. If you're not tapping into your resources to say, hey, I have this thought, and that's actually what I did with the Thrive group and what I'm creating. Hey, I have this thought. What do y'all think? Then you narrow it down. Then but if you're not having conversations, you're not open-minded, and you're just going to stay in the corner, like, it's not going to help you. So I would just say, find your way to get outside the box, try something, talk to somebody, get vulnerable, be transparent. I don't know X, Y, and Z, but I know I want to be in some different place 6 months from now. So do you know somebody who might be able to help me with X, Y, and Z? Like, as they used to say, a closed mouth don't get fed. Okay, apply that principle to whatever area of your life you're trying to grow in and start. The blessing is we have the internet, and I'm a big believer, like, there is no lack, because we live in a time where at any moment, 24/7, 365, right? You can type in anything you want and get some level of knowledge. It may not always be truth, but it's going to give you some kind of leeway or something to think about so that you can move forward. So be intentional, be on purpose, and reach out and use your resources.
And I would add, find a mentor.
That part too.
Yes, definitely. Find you a mentor.
Yeah.
And in selecting a mentor, one of the things that you must consider before asking is, what do you want the mentor to do for you? Because these people are busy. And if they're going to commit, they want to know what they're committing to and how much time is going to be required. But a mentor, and you want to get a mentor who can open doors for you, who can open those doors that you can't do on your own. So those are some things to consider as well. All right, Amber. I know you are a designer who helps women with branding and marketing and often remind business women that they are their brand. Now, can you expound on that? And what does "you are your brand" mean to you?
Love the questions.
I love this one. You know why I love it? Because this is so important to me.
Yes, it is. And so I know we're short on time. You are your brand is a whole conversation. It
is.
In short, I'll give the short version of it. People sometimes don't recognize that before people do business with them or befriend them or connect with them, they have to know, like, trust, relate, and respect them, right?
Yes.
And every day we give out, if you want to call it energy or whatever, we all give this out. Some of us know we're giving it out and some people maybe don't, but whatever you're giving out is going to come back. So for me, I like giving out energy. And generally, if I don't have good energy, you're not going to see me because I'm in a different place. But I like to give out good energy, and energy comes back. So that's a part of my brand. Now, when I say you are your brand, what I'm basically saying is for people to know, like, trust, relate, and respect you, they have to connect with you in some way, right? So when you dress, how you deal with your social media, how you show up or don't show up, right? Consistency means a lot, whether it be business or not business. What people get from you, because my definition for branding is really creating the perception you want people to believe. Right? That's what Nike does and Apple and everybody else. And we think of businesses with brands, but you are your brand too. We have self-brands. So if I was to ask any one of my friends, colleagues, what have you, I could pretty much narrow down a few of the things they would say about my self-brand. Amber's, I hear it all the time. Amber's thorough. Okay. Amber's creative.
Yes.
Amber's always doing something. Amber's fun. Amber's energetic, right? Where did they get that from? They got it from me.
From you.
Because that's what I give out. And so what I'm saying when I say you are your brand is when you show up, whether it be online or in person,
that's right.
Show up right. And I know Miss Linda is big on showing up and standing out, right? So we get that, but it's very important. And I think a lot of people miss that point, that so many times you want to pay a designer or a copywriter or a videographer, all these people to help you build something, which is great.
Yes.
But like I always tell my clients, as your graphic designer, I'm basically like your midwife. Having had 2 kids, I get the concept, but in case you don't know what that means, I had a midwife and I had a doula, okay? I had my husband as well in my birthing space, right? Yes. They could not birth my baby for me, but they were there as support, right? Absolutely. They had a role, but I had a role too. So a lot of times we want to hire people to become and to do things that we can't do because it's my baby to birth. So you can hire the designer. Yes, I'll be here to help you. Right? But if you don't know your vision, you can't articulate it. You're not going to show up on time to do the production. My work is going to be either invalid or not able to really shine because it's all contingent on you and your self-brand. So yes, I'll have a whole workshop on that soon. But for now, in short, when you show up, remember, I'm self-branding today. When I get online and I say things that don't really go with the culture of my business or my church or whatever else, that's your self-brand that you're giving out. And the main thing I want to just end with on that, you can't undo bad branding, right? Sometimes it's very difficult to turn, well, I'll say this, big businesses can, they got the money. What I'm saying for us little people who's just getting started, or as you're a solopreneur, or you got 2 or 3 employees, or your small church or whatever, you screw up enough that you leave a bad taste in people's mouth, it's really hard to undo that. So
Yes.
that is why it is important that we show up correctly, because
Yes.
reputation, which if you just want to coin it that way, brand reputation
Reputation.
is so important, and it's important to do it right.
Absolutely. I just want to add, with the internet, there are so many opportunities out there for you. And if you're branded correctly, those opportunities will come to you. You don't have to go after them. And the reason why I'm saying this is because how you brand yourself online, there are people out there doing research for publications, for the media, people looking for different type of opportunities for the right fit, the right person to hire. And if your brand is done properly online, trust me, they will come to you. I noticed because it has happened to me over and over again. So becoming branded is key to helping grow you and your business. So Amber, I know we got the wrap up here, but how can women learn more about Vision Defined Women if they want to become a part of it?
Yes, and so you can just go to visiondefinedwomen.com. What you will see there is basically the overview of what Miss Linda read at the very beginning. What is Vision Defined Women? Who should join? What's in it for you? Community objectives. And we are preparing to launch at the end of this month. We're super excited. We will have some phenomenal community coaches who will be able to give you some different angles on finance, business. The whole big picture of our community is that we have something for every woman, so that we can thrive, we can network, we can share, we can learn, and we can grow. And so, yes, go to visiondefinedwomen.com, and you'll be able to click the request to join button at the very top, so that when we open up, you'll be informed and you'll be able to participate.
Wonderful. Amber, thank you so much for being my guest today and sharing this invaluable, and it is invaluable information, ladies. And I want to thank our attendees who came today to today's show and participated with us. I thank you for taking and carving out time to be here with us. And I just simply want to end with this Madeleine Albright's quote. It took a long time for me to develop this voice, and no one is going to silence me. And that is the way I truly feel. We are on a mission to helping more women to be financially established, to experience financial freedom, because we know when we have more than enough with women, as far as money, not only will it change our lives, our families, it improves our businesses. We are able to hire more people, and it impacts the communities where we live. Now, if you're ready to see women's rights, and I do mean our rights, because we have rights, and it's time for us to demand them and stop sitting around talking about them. Yes, we have advanced, but we still got an awful long way to go. So just get ready, buckle up, because WomeNomics is coming, and we are coming strong. Until next time, have a wonderful day.